Okay, everybody. So I wanted to pull up the CC&Rs and look up some areas that we can kind of pull from in terms of how Eileen's request applies, just so we can actually learn from this experience and come up with a decision that would apply for the future. There's several parts of the CC&R that address this, although not directly. So, like, for example, Section 18 talks about the right for quiet enjoyment, and essentially, kind of like what Morgan was saying, that people in their living arrangements should have a right to a peaceful environment, not um, where they will be bothered by different things, which include noise and, several parts of this section here. And then another one is signs. So people are not allowed to put up signs of any kind without the permission of the HOA. Um, and so also, in terms of, I just saw it here now, offensive activities as well. So let's look at those areas. Okay. So let's start here, in terms of quiet enjoyment. Okay. And so, no owner shall permit or suffer anything to be done in the project that will kind of interfere with the rights of other occupants, um, the rights of quiet enjoyment. So that's kind of vague. I think on, people tend to think that has to do with like loud music and things like that. Um, However, that might pertain to, large events in the courtyard and things like that, as well. And so let's see here. Um, Offensive activities here. Let's see. No noxious or offensive activities shall be carried on in any unit or in the common area, nor shall anything be done therein which may be or become an annoyance or nuisance. Okay. And so, no signs of any kind should be displayed, as well. So essentially, as Karina said in her email, I haven't read this, precisely, but there are different sections of the CC&Rs that do discuss common areas. And however, it doesn't necessarily say, that residents cannot use common areas for specific things, but there are other aspects of the CC&Rs that kind of, I guess, you can add together, such as the no signs, the right for quiet enjoyment, no offensive activities. And so then we start with two arguments. One argument might be that the board reserves the right to approve anything that residents want to do, such as what Eileen is doing, asking for permission, or we ban everything all at once and we kind of take a stance and say that no activity should take place in the courtyard or any common area that would potentially be offensive or loud, such as the quiet activity or quiet enjoyment clause, here in the CC&Rs. So, I think rather than personalizing this instance with Eileen, which we can all agree that, she's trying to do something good for the Armenian community, rather than personalizing it, if we remove all of that and just stick to what it says in the CC&Rs, you'll see that there's different sections that we can utilize to make a decision. So again, we have two ways of making a decision. One, by taking it case by case. So people come to us, they say, I want to have a big birthday party, I want to have Girl Scout cookies, I want to have, a fundraiser. Or you have where we kind of don't allow any of that in order and kind of take a stance for the future that none of that would be allowed in order to prevent problems. Okay. And so we have these two ways of thinking. Either we take it case by case, or we just completely make a decision as a board that we will be quite strict in that aspect and not allow anything that could be perceived as offensive, etc. Okay. And so that's really what it has to do with, not necessarily what the person is asking to do, right? We all know that she is wanting to do something humanitarian, but that's not really what we're talking about. What we're talking about is making a decision on this for the future. Okay? So I just wanted to kind of share that, so we can have a place to talk about that on Thursday at our meeting.